Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 569 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. The court in Kyiv has increased the bail for oligarch Igor Kolomoisky from approximately $13.3 million to approximately $186 million, reports Suspilne. Earlier yesterday, Kolomoisky was served with a new notice of suspicion on 3 counts relating to the embezzlement of about $160 million. This was the reason for the prosecution to ask the court to increase the size of the bail. On 15th of September, the Security Service of Ukraine conducted a search at home of MP Nestor Shufrich, member of the banned opposition Platform for Life political party, a pro-Russian political organization, reports Ukrainska Pravda. They found banned Russian symbols and awards, as well as a document with a plan for the autonomy of Donetsk and Lugansk Oblasts dated 2014, which bears the signatures of former MP Viktor Medvedchuk, who has now been deprived of his Ukrainian citizenship and who is also a close friend of Putin and Nestor Shufrich himself. All that, along with other evidence, resulted in his arrest on suspicion of high treason. The court has chosen a measure of restraint, detention for 2 months, without the right to pay bail. We would really appreciate if you could rate us, ideally with 5 stars, and leave a glowing review in the apps where you are listening to this podcast: Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and others. This really helps more people to find out about the highlights from Ukraine and truth about Russia's invasion. The European Commission decided not to extend restrictions on the import of Ukrainian agricultural products after 15th of September, reports European Pravda. Earlier, Bulgaria decided not to extend the ban. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky welcomed this decision and in his evening video address expressed hope that Ukraine's neighbors would support it. Despite that, by the end of the day, Slovakia, Poland and Hungary decided to continue the ban, claiming that this way they are protecting local farmers against cheap grain from Ukraine. The US plans to increase its monthly production of artillery shells in the coming years and reach 100,000 units in 2025, reports LBUA. Pentagon Chief Procurement Officer Bill LaPlante added that 6 to 8 months ago, the US was producing about 14,000 shells a month, today 28,000. Commander of the Air Force of Ukraine, Lieutenant General Mykola Oleshchuk, informed that Ukrainian pilots have been successfully hitting Russian targets with both British Storm Shadow and French Scalp cruise missiles, reports Ukrinform. He said that British and French media outlets are wondering what type of cruise missiles Ukrainian pilots used to destroy Russian Minsk and Rostov-on-Don vessels. According to the commander, that makes perfect sense, as it would be hard to imagine a better advertisement for a national arms manufacturer. He also stressed that there's also room for the German-made Taurus under the wings of Ukrainian bombers. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just 2 people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we're getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.